So getting centered on your block, close your eyes. Start to feel your breath and let your breath come in and out with consciousness, with mindfulness. Each breath opens you up on the inside, releasing anything along the central channel that is tight or constricting. Opening yourself up to the wavy spine. And then blink your eyes open. Take another deep breath in, widening under your armpits. And then float your palms up to dome hands. So the hollow of the hand, the palm gets deep and narrow, but your fingers are spread out, all while the fingertips are curled under. Make your arms straight so that your inner elbows are pointing towards each other. You can look down and check to see. And then let the tone in your palms wrap around your whole arm so that it is gently engaged. When your arms are straight, your radiant heart and central channel is at its tallest and broadest. Take one hand with a thumb, cup the hand, and slide it behind your neck. Make your elbow wrap towards your nose so that it's going forward, not open wide. That way your back can stay nice and broad. Keep the tone in your left dome hand and lean back into your back body. Lift your chin so your skull tilts over the top of your right hand. Keep the cupping action in your right hand so that there's a gentle tone in your right arm. And release any stress in your jaw. Replace the right dome hand back to your thigh. Touch fingernails first. Make the connection and feel that tone zip up your whole right wing. And then form a cup hand with your left hand. Slide it around the neck. See if you can make your fingertips come all the way to the other side of your neck, like you're forming a neck brace. And then take the right hand and push gently on the forehead, opening up the front of your throat, and at the same time releasing your low belly. Breathe wide. And notice your lungs might be able to breathe a little bit bigger when your wings are joining in and helping out. All right, extend your right seed hand and then your left seed hand forward at the level of the horizon arms. Now, do what we did before to create that seed hand. So you gently curl the fingers, narrow and engage the palms, and then extend your arms long. So look at your arms and check that they're straight arms, not locked arms, but straight. Look at your inner elbows, they point towards each other. Okay, and then we're gonna press into the tops of the feet and come into a high knee position. So it's a kneeling position. Lift your ankles off the floor, hero feet, and push your hips back. And then we're gonna glide the ribs from the left to the right. Keep that tone in the arms. And I'm gonna show you from the front here. So slide your hands from the left to the right, and notice if you have a tendency to want to bend the arms. That's the pattern that most people have, because it's really hard to keep them tight and cross them over, but that's why we want to stretch it. So keep them straight, cross it over. In fact, you can help it cross over here by pulling a little bit. Keep the seed tension in the hand. Not too tight though. And then the other. Be careful not to take your shoulder with you when you cross over. Okay, keep your shoulder back and wide. And take it up and down a little bit. That's a big stretch. All right, we'll come back to the center of our mat. And sit your block out of the way. Reach your hands back towards the level of the horizons, and we'll do some pulses here. As you pulse your hips down, push your thumbs forward. As you pulse up, push your knuckles down as if you were pressing into something. So if I was your teacher here, I would come around and I would actually put my hands under your knuckles so you'd have something to push down into. And when you have that resistance, you can really feel the tone on your arm. If you don't have a teacher with you right now, you can put your knuckles down on a surface, or if you're really good at imagining, you can imagine that surface there. And check your triceps every now and then to make sure they're actually doing their job. It's a whole lot easier if they are. All right, next time, you spring load your hips back. Root your butt back. Energetically press your knees wide. You'll get all floaty. And then touch your fingernails to the earth. Keep your heart, so the place between your shoulder blades and your head lifted back. That'll make it feel nice and light, and you can glide ribs from the left to the right here. Good. And then without losing a connection in your fingernails, so the fingernails are the ends of your wings, your feathers. Pull your hands back to spring hands. All right? So spring hands has the fingers about 1 finger digit separate from each other. And you press down a little bit in the fingertips to bend the last joint. And then you narrow your thumbs and your pinky mounds together. That sends an engagement of the whole wing. All right? And then you think broad between the armpits, full between the shoulder blades. Keep that and walk your knees back, coming into an all fours pose. Wow, I feel really supported with my ribs and my arms right now. There's no pain in my wrists when I do it this way. So I'm really engaged in the palms. I'm not dumping my weight right over my wrist with no engagement in my hands. That would be ouchy. All right, if your wrists do hurt, you can pull your hips back a bit, walk your hands back. It takes a little bit of weight off of it, just until you start to build up a little bit more strength. But keep that engagement in the palms. Look at your elbows here. So your inner elbows are pointing towards each other. You'll have little dimples on the inside of the elbows. That's good. Now we don't want them bent, so it's good to practice in front of a mirror. Breathe wide into the ribs. And we're going to spring load, pull the hips back. I'll take the right hand and I'll take it to the left forearm. And I'm going to wrap the flesh inward. At the same time, I'm going to energetically rotate the upper arm out. So I'm rotating in and I'm resisting that inward rotation. And if I look in the mirror forward, it looks like my left shoulder is really getting broad. And then I'll try it on the other hand. Take a liquid hand to the right forearm and pull it inward. As I'm resisting that inward pull, my shoulder widens. Good, and then I'll come back to all fours pose. Simplify here. Scan your body for the connection, for a uniform engagement. Find lightness and radiant heart. Tilt the left, I'll go the right. Tilt the right ear to the right shoulder. And from the lifting of the left back heart, we're going to float the left hand to a dome hand here. So show me your muscles that go on your tricep here. And that comes from an engagement of the palm. Lightness in the heart, length in the side ribs. Float your dome to a hand mirror. So when your elbow's pointing at the floor and you can look at your left palm here, keep it going on in your right hand, that's important. And then slide the left hand at ecstasy. The thumb goes over the ear, sides of the hand engage, but your fingertips are softly curled. And then we can arc here, pull the hips back. And then use your right arm here as a strut to help you pull your ribs open from. And then we'll touch down, dome to spring. Simplifying the center. Tilt the left ear towards the left shoulder. From the lifting of the right back heart, we'll dome our right hand. Engage from the palm up to your core. And then float it to hand mirror. You can do some pulses here and pretend like you're holding a bar with your hand mirror hand. You can really feel the tone around the bone. And then slide your right hand to ecstasy. Root your hips back. And then open up the right side ribs with some pulses. Stay high in the ribs. And then touch down your right hand dome. When you stay high in the ribs, you can touch down with the straight arm. Dome to spring. There you go. Simplify in the center. Tuck your toes under. And lift your hips. Coming into crouching cat for a moment here. Step your feet wide. And then walk your hands back, sliding your hands up to your knees with a long belly for a wide-legged recovery. And then step narrow, pause and earth pose. So in earth pose, we're going to do some work on our wings as well. So we'll start with creating a seed hand. So curling the fingers, narrowing the palms. And for now, I'll keep my seeds right in front of me in the 0 rotation position. Look down at your arms, make sure your arms are straight and that your inner elbows are pointing towards each other, okay? Now, squeeze your palms and you'll see a little dimple starts to happen in your inner elbows at your hollow. And energetically press back, press wide, press narrow, press forward to hollow out your armpits. And when you do that, then your shoulders are not, you're not carrying them, they're perched. Yes, you've got access to your triceps, everything's going on. So from the side, the hands are in the forward plane. Okay, from here, we're gonna rotate to the 5 position. So think about rotating from the upper arm. Yeah, and then the palms turn towards each other here, okay? Really anchor down your thumbs. So you're gonna have a hollow on the outer wrist and of course a hollow on the inner wrist as well. And when you hollow, that's called the ice pick hollow, you can really feel your triceps energize, all right? Okay, that's the 5 position. And next we're gonna take it to the 10 position. And it may not look like we're doing a lot right now, but this is super intense. If you keep your hollows going on, if you don't have hollows right now, then you're not doing Bowspring. So keep a hollow in your under wrist and your outer wrist. So that means thumbs get long. This time your inner elbows are pointing forward. My triceps are really working right now. I don't need to use any dumbbells to work my triceps. This is totally enough here. I got my hollows going on. Radiant heart is full. And we're gonna take it and we're gonna lift it up to a V vector without losing the 10 rotation here. So that's the trick. There is the work. Therein lies the rub. So keep radiant heart full between the armpits. Keep your seed engagement. Act like you're pulling your arms up through quicksand, so it's not easy. Use your power breath. This is hard. So as you lift in the 10 position, your hands are now facing behind you. Stay broad in the ribs, and then lower back down, staying in the 10 rotation. Turn your hands back towards the 0 rotation. Close your eyes and feel the energy. Trust yourself that you can stay gently engaged. You can stay curvy even during transitions and in between. We are doing work. We are ruffling feathers. We are getting precise here. We're feeling new feelings. Good. Blink open your eyes. Sit and step wide. Sit, step wide. Slide your hands down to your knees. Wide-legged recovery. And then bend your knees deeper. Slide your groins back a lot. And then touch down a dome hand. And then another dome hand. Pull your domes to spring. And walk your feet back to crouching cat. Swivel your toes and knees to the left. Bend your knees and put your right hip on the floor, closer to your feet. Slide your left hand in front of your belly. And then reach your ribs away from you. Seed your right hand and aim it towards the upper left corner of the mat. Tilt your head towards that corner. And then slide and glide, coming onto your side. There we go, that's easier. Stack yourself up, hips, knees, feet. And then take your left forearm and ice pick it to the floor. In fact, ice pick both hands to the floor. And notice what happened to your shoulders when you did that. They got a little bit of engagement around them. So nothing too grippy. We're just looking for a minimal tone. Making it work where it wasn't working before. Stacking yourself. And then let's do some shoulder shrugs here. So prove the mobility of your shoulder. It moves a little bit more than you think it did. It slides and it glides. It's fluidy. All right, keep the ice pick going on in your right hand and take the left hand behind the head. Let your elbow close to the floor. And then push your head back to that hand. Lift your chin. Yeah, and then push your head back to bow your belly. Tilt the crown of the head towards the floor. Yeah, keep pressing down through your right hand and you're going to create space on both sides of the shoulders. So shoulders are wide. The neck starts to release. Connect the head to the floor. Reach your left hand towards the sky. Connect the feet to the floor. Roll onto your back. Reach your right to the sky. And then supine shift. We'll come onto our back now. And then take your hands to the 5 position. And then notice here if you've got this tendency to pull your shoulder blades all the way off the floor and see if you can just root them a little bit so you can get wide in your front heart. Curl the seed hands, engage the palms, the inner elbows looking at each other, and we'll lift and lower our wings here. So we're not gonna go all the way down. Okay. And I feel my right shoulder blade tries to pop off the floor here, so I'm gonna try to keep it in, but at the same time I'm going to breathe a widening into that engagement. So it's a push-pull relationship. Okay. Lower them down, almost to the floor, but not to the floor, and then we'll rotate them to the 10 position once more. So check your hollows here. You've got a hollow in the under wrist and the outer wrist. Ooh, when I did the outer wrist, I felt a deepening of my elbows and my armpit hollows. That's awesome. All right, and then we're gonna lift. Woo! Keep the jaw fluid. Yeah. Oh, that one's good. And lower. One more lift. So as you bring your hands over your head, don't cheat and rotate them. Keep the eyes of the elbows, keep the palms in the same rotation. Whew. That's a different story. Okay, now take your left arm overhead, roll onto your left side. We'll do side bow on the left. So your right forearm's ice picking into the floor now, as is your left. Slide the right shoulder up and down here, proving its mobility. And then we'll take the left hand to a head rest. Cup the hand around the head, and then open the chin. Let the crown of the head tilt towards the floor. You can palpate the place between your shoulder blades to make sure it's not caving in here. We want it full. Open. Good. And then extend your legs longer. Roll over on the tops of the feet as you roll onto your belly. And then we'll bend our arms and take two seed hands, press the sides of them together for heart hands. So we're now on the backs of our elbows. We can dig into the floor with our elbows and use them to pull our belly forward. So when we have our wings engaged, we can really stretch our belly, get longer, and fill up radiant heart. So broaden your shoulders. Oh, that feels good. Press the knees down, lift the feet, and then make little cups in the soles of your feet. If you don't feel anything going on in the backs of your legs, push your heels back a little bit more. And we'll take a windshield wiper left and right, left and right. And then we'll take a dome to spring just outside of our mat, about the level of our shoulders. And then find that engagement in the palm. Press the tips of your fingers down. Push your elbows forward and spread out between your shoulder blades. We want that area to get bigger and wider, not compressed and sunken. Bigger and wider. Press your elbows forward. Put more energy into your hands. Imagine an outward rotation in your upper arm here. So if you're like me and your shoulders are tight, they're probably rotating forward and make you think you're getting that stretch, but it's something else is going on. So if you have to, take the other hand and help it rotate back. Or look in the mirror and realize when you're going into that. All right, get wide between the shoulder blades. Press your fingertips down, press your elbows forward. And now lift radiant heart to the height of your elbows. If you can see my back right now, it's really super broad. Use your power breath here to help inflate. Tilt the right ear towards the right shoulder. Push the left elbow forward. Pull your left ribs out of your hips. And then we'll do that on the other side. Left ear to left shoulder. Right elbow forward. Pull the right ribs out of your hips. Good. Push fingertips, elbows, stay broad in the back heart. Push your knees down. Lift your butt. And panther push-up. Couple push-ups here. Walk the hands back to the center. And draw your hips back. Thank you for watching today. I hope you've enjoyed this and really, really felt your wings maybe for the first time. Take some rest and tell me what you think.